नमस्ते दोस्तों, 7-3 योग आपका स्वागत है. Welcome to 7-3 yoga. The 7 and the 3, what does it stand for? 7 foundational movements. 7 fundamental human movements. What are they? Squat, lunge, push, pull, bend, twist, and gait. Why are they important? Well, these are practical movements. And when we train in these movements, this is the way we make our body strong. 3 planes of motion: sagittal plane, frontal plane, transverse plane. When we're aware of these planes of motion, I think this helps us fine-tune our movements and our yoga poses. Now, just a word on breathing. In 7-3 yoga, we don't time the inhalation and the exhalation. We feel that you should be aware of your breathing, but not control it. If you're breathing more heavily than the person next to you in a class, take that breath. Now, there are some movements, poses that you'll find naturally you'll actually hold your breath. This is actually quite natural. It actually gives support to the lower back. It's called the Valsalva maneuver, when powerlifters use this. Now, if you have high blood pressure, you might want to check with your doctor on whether this is good for you. In fact, if this is a new exercise program for you, I would suggest going to your health practitioner and letting him know that you're starting a new exercise program. Now, you might have heard the term belly breathing. We're just going to talk about that just for a sec. Now, you don't want to have the breathing stuck in the chest. You want to actually breathe from the bottom up. Now, as I'm standing here with my hand on the side of my ribs, I can feel my rib cage at the side expand. In fact, you might even feel across the lower back an expansion. Now, you might feel the belly push out a little bit, but I don't want you to force that belly out in the front. So that's the way we like to breathe, from the bottom up. Let's do a little breathing exercise, a pranayama, nadi shodhana pranayama. First, you're going to have to put your hand into Vishnu mudra. So take these fingers, put them down just like that. Now, if this is complicated, you can use any fingers, no problem. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to block off. We're going to use these 2 fingers, or these 2, whichever is comfortable. And we're going to block off one nostril. We're going to inhale, then block that one and exhale, and then inhale again, block off, and then we're going to exhale. Let's try it. Okay, great job, guys. Remember, breathe in through the nose, and you can exhale through the nose, or exhale through the mouth. If you would like to do the Ujjayi breath, the victory breath, where it's more of an audible exhale, then that's fine. From here, we are going into a warm-up, full body warm-up in 3 planes of motion. Shuru karen? Shall we begin? Okay. Okay, guys, let's warm up. Now, if you need to be against the wall or holding onto a chair, that's absolutely fine. We're going to start off with the Hindu squat. Now, the feet are going to be about hip width apart, okay, and when you come down, you're going to be pushing the hips back. The neck and the spine are going to be in line. So don't keep looking forward. As you come down, you're looking down and up. And you're going to be swinging the arms. You don't have to go deep. You can feel it out until you get lower. Now, if you have slightly or very much flat feet, if you roll in, sometimes pushing the ball of the foot into the ground and lifting the toes helps with balancing. Also, you don't want to tilt into the toes and lift the heels. You want to have the foot flat. Now, once again, you might get some benefit from raising those toes up while you're doing it, but don't fall backwards. All right, let's go. Whoops. Good, and we are in sagittal plane. Very good. And we're going to do a knee raise, still in sagittal plane. However, we've got a little twist going on with the upper body. So here we're incorporating transverse plane. And talking about transverse plane, we're right here, twisting. And we're going to move to frontal plane, right here. I'm breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, or out through the nose. Very good. Now with the knees again, slightly out to the side. So now it's almost a mix between sagittal and frontal. Good, and let's do some shoulder rolls. We're rolling forward, breathe through the nose. And backwards. And transverse plane, sagittal plane. All right, and butt kick. We're still in sagittal here. Although I've got a bit of an arm swing going on here in transverse. So you see how we sometimes are in multiple planes. And we can do a calf raise with a frontal plane arm action. All right, we'll come back down into squat position and running arms, sagittal plane. Very good. All right, from here, let's go back into arms. And sumo squat. So here we're in sagittal, maybe a little bit of frontal. Depending on how far you turn out, you're incorporating a little bit more frontal plane. warm-up is done. Okay guys, first series we're going to do Warrior 2, otherwise known as Virabhadrasana 2, then go into side angle, Parsavakonasana, then into triangle, Trikonasana, and then finally into half moon, which is Ardha Chandrasana. And we might do a bound version of that, which is Baddha Ardha Chandrasana. I've just given you the English and the Sanskrit. All right, let's go at it. Okay guys, we're going to come into a wide stance, feet facing forward. We'll take the right foot, turn it out. We're going to bend this knee. Make sure the knee and the foot are in line. Weight this leg, and you can make a slight adjustment here so that that foot is shooting towards the top left of your corner. And then we're going to lift the arms up, body facing this way, head facing that way. Now don't lean forward too much, you want to pull back slightly. Also take the ribs, think about the ribs coming in, the jaws of the ribs closing in. Don't do a hardcore tuck, just push the jaws of the ribs in. Now this series actually has a frontal plane feel, and we're going to try and keep it like that. So we're going to do approximately 3 breaths per pose. So we're right here. Now if you need a little bit more action, put the weight in the front foot and scooch this leg back a little bit. Try not to let the knee go past the foot, and try and keep that alignment right there. All right, now from here, we're going to go into side angle, and we're going to do this for support, and right here. Try and keep the shoulders down. Don't be too hunched up. Now if you need a little bit more core, you can lift up and hold it right there. If you want a little bit of a variation, you can bind it. Very good, and support. From here, scooch this leg back a little bit, and we go into triangle. If you need a little bit more core, you can hold the arms out. Very good, and weight this front leg so that you can adjust the back leg. Come back a little bit and go back into your side angle. You can maybe do a variation if you like. And from here we're going to go into half moon crescent. So right here, coming up. And if you want to turn the head and look to the ceiling, which makes it a little more difficult, you can. I like to look straight down. If you'd like to bind, that's okay. Make sure you stay in this position, the body opened out. As you can see, my body is open towards you. And then come back down. Come at the side angle. And back to Warrior 2. Turn the foot in. And now we go to the other side. Turn the foot out. And you can bend this knee. And by weighting this foot, this leg, you can make some adjustments to make it comfortable. Okay, that's the angle of the foot. You might find some people are very comfortable this way. A lot of people need to make an adjustment. Once again, don't lean forward, pull back slightly. Jaws of the ribs are in, body facing this way. So we have a frontal plane feel to it. If you need a little bit more work in the legs, you can weight the front foot, scooch that back. And we come into side angle. You can support this hand if you need it. If you don't need the support and you want core work, right here. You can always be back here if you need to. All right, and weight this leg. To scooch the other one up a little bit into triangle. Right here. Keep the body open. You can do some core right here.
from here, bend to left knee, weight the thigh so you can make an adjustment, back at the side angle, and you can do a variation, or the one right there. All right, from here, once again, weight the front leg, scooch it up. I'm just going to move back for purposes of the camera. So we're right here, coming up into half moon crescent. And binding if you need to. Very good, approximately 3 breaths per pose. And from here, go back into side angle, just momentarily, into warrior 2, and then to the front. And you can either jump or you can do heel toe. Well done. Okay guys, next series we're going to start with the high lunge, otherwise known as Ashta Chandrasana. Then we're going to go into the low lunge, Anjaneyasana, Asana, and then into pyramid pose, Parsvatasana, and then into standing splits, otherwise known as Urdhva Prasarita Ekapadasana, and then finally into a bent over Nataraj, bent dancer, Adho Mukha Nataraj. Okay guys, come to the top of your mat, stand with your feet about hip width apart. From here, take your left leg back, just to a comfortable lunge. Now make sure there's actual space. You don't want a tightrope. And make sure that that heel is up. You don't want to put the heel down. And just get your balance. Now, once again, you can load this front foot and thigh and leg and adjust if you need a little bit more action. Okay, hands straight up, make sure the shoulders are down, and you want to lift out before you bend back. Don't bend straight back. You want to lift out the body, and then a gentle back bend. And you can load the legs. Very good. From there, we're going to come down into a low lunge. Right here. We'll do about 3 breaths per pose. Now some people like to actually put the knee down here. My knees aren't that good, so I don't like too much weight on my knee. But sometimes you can actually feel it out and get some subtleties in terms of the stretch. So it's right here. Now if you want to add another plane of motion, because we're in sagittal, you can add the transverse. Right here, get a twist. Very good. And from here, bring that back leg up by loading the front leg. And we're in pyramid pose. Sometimes you'll see people with the foot out. I don't care for that. I like to stay in sagittal plane, right here. Okay? And if you need to, just going to demonstrate with our crusty blocks here. You can use the blocks if you need to. And you can feel out the stretch on the calf muscles. And forward bend is the hamstring. For very flexible people, you can raise the toe. Very good. From here, standing split. You can use the blocks if you need to. Okay, don't open out your hip. You want to stay in sagittal plane. So don't open that hip. I like to keep my spine and neck in line. So I'm not looking up. And from here, downward facing dancer. Only if it's comfortable for you. If it's not comfortable, then just do the basic standing split. Or you can even stay in pyramid. And from here, you can come back once again into a comfortable lunge. Stand up. Get your balance and step forward. All right, now we're going to take the other leg. Step back with the right leg, comfortable lunge, get your balance. From here, load the front foot, scooch the back leg a little bit further back, arms up, lift out the body, and then back. All right, coming down into low lunge. And here you can use the blocks too if you need to. Right here. And we can move into transverse plane right here. I like to have a little micro bend in that elbow just to take the stress off the joint. And from here into pyramid. Once again, you can use the blocks if you need to. Stretch out that calf muscle. And you can lift the toes for some hamstring action. And from here into standing split. And if you so desire, you can go into downward facing dancer. From here, get comfortable in a comfortable lunge. Come up to the top, to the front of your mat. Well done. Okay guys, next series, we're going to start with the chair squat pose, Utkatasana, and then go into a Ekapada Tadasana, one leg mountain pose. From there, we're going to do a standing back bend, Anuvitasana, and then finally into two side bends, Parshava, Urdhva, Hastasana. Now, the chair squat is going to be in sagittal plane. We might do a variation, so we might end up in a little bit of frontal plane. And then, after that, as we get to the back bend, we're going to be in sagittal, and the side bends, we're going to be working in frontal plane. All right. Okay, guys, chair squat pose. So we're going to have the feet about hip width distance apart, straight. If you feel like you're tipping into your toes, you can maybe elevate the toes up, and if you are rolling in, if you're a little bit flat-footed, you might want to push the ball of the foot in the ground. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hinge at the hips. Okay, so it's going to come down, and you can support right here if you need to. And if you can, elevate the arms straight up. You'll notice that my neck and my spine are in line. So as I come down, I'm looking that way. And we'll hold. Make sure the knees don't roll in. Keep this distance the same. Now, if you want a variation, you can have the feet slightly turned out. Make sure the knees and the foot, the knee and the foot is in line. Okay? You probably will feel the adductor stretch, so you'll be right here. I'll show you from the side. If you can, have this parallel with the ground or even a little bit lower. If you're having problems, you can be up here, that's fine. All right, get the balance right here. This is your standing wind relieving pose, and you're right here for one leg mountain pose. And you can even get a twist right here. So you've actually moved it from, you're in sagittal and you're also in transverse plane. Very good. Switching out. Knee up. extend. You can use a chair on this if you need to. Very good, and then from here we're going to do a back bend. Now once again, don't just go back. Try and lift out the body and then back. Very good, and we'll do a side bend. So coming up. Once again, don't cut it short. Lift up first, and then gently over. All right, good job. Okay guys, this series is going to be a little bit more challenging compared to the previous one. Now if you're comfortable on the previous one and you'd rather stay there, that's fine. Now this one we're going to go back to the chair squat pose, and we're going to do a couple of variations there, some challenging variations. Then we're going to go into boat pose, Navasana, and then into a hamstring bridge, Purvattanasana, then into the abdominal twist, Jatara Parivartanasana, and then into either the glute bridge or the wheel, depending on what you're comfortable with. The glute bridge, Setubandha Sarvangasana, and the wheel in Sanskrit is Chakrasana. All right? All right, guys, chair squat pose variations. So, you can do a very wide plie. This is not good for a lot of people. It's very difficult to keep the alignment of the knee and the foot, okay, which is very important. And this pose, you can do some nice cool things in frontal plane, okay. This is a variation. If you want to stay with this one, you can. You can be here, or you can be more here. You can get a side bend with this. And for our advanced members of the class, if you need even more of a challenge, we can take a look at the cat squat. So we're right here, balance on one leg, come down, catch it, and into chair pose right here. And then try the other leg, get your balance, and come down, catch it, into chair pose. All right, from chair pose, we're going to go into boat pose. So if you're right here, okay, if you can get down to the ground, right here. Now if you can't get there without the blocks, then grab hold of the blocks. So if you're here, right here, here, good. Now you can put one foot down. You can support with the hand right here. That'll work. You can even do a bent knee boat pose right here. Now, a lot of times you'll see people with an arch. That might not work for everybody. Depending if you have back issues, it actually might be better to be slightly rounded, like this. Okay, that way you can actually engage the abs more. All right, from here, we're going into a reverse plank or hamstring bridge. I like to have the knees slightly bent and the toes up. I feel I can engage the hamstrings more. Don't collapse. Hips up. Also, don't sink in the shoulders. Boom! Pack the shoulder. Shoulder should be inside the body. One leg is a challenge. Some variations here. You could be on your elbows, forearms. And once again, you have a single leg challenge. From here, let's go into abdominal twist. Easier version, bend the knees. Okay, very important. Strong in the ground. Okay, this incorporates the pulling muscles of the upper body. Hold right here. If you can extend the legs. Make sure the legs don't dip this way. You don't want that. That's going to be your lower abdominals. You could strain them. So keep the feet close to your face. And other side. I'm really pushing in the ground with this arm. And back up. And from here, I'm going to glute bridge. Is one option. Bind the arms. Now, make sure you're not knock-kneed. If you want to get some calf action, you can be right here. Variations are one leg. We can hold it right there. Another variation is leg to the side, but I like my hands right here. Hands and arms right here, I should say. And if you like, you can try wheel. Coming up. Now, if you have the head on the ground, make sure the hands, arms, shoulders are supporting the body, not the head, or not much on the head. Very good. Well, we can finish off with abdominal twist again. Right here. Very good. And you can use the blocks to stand. Well done. Okay guys, next series we're starting with a hip hinge and a forward fold, Uttanasana, into a plank, Phalakasana, then to the 4-point stick, Chaturanga Dandasana, and then into bow pose, Dhanurasana. Again into a plank, Kumbhakasana, and then a down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, and then we're up. Okay guys, hip hinge and forward fold. A couple of different ways that we can do this. So once again, feet will be in about hip width distance. Okay, I like to actually have a slight bend in the knee. You want to have a slight arch in the back, or at least straight back. But you don't want to collapse this way. You want to think of opening the chest slightly, okay, lifting up, slight bend in the knee, and coming down, almost like an L shape, 90 degrees. Okay, right here. Now, if you want, you can make it a little more difficult by elevating your hands, your arms, right here. And even more difficult is right here. Make sure that your knees don't collapse.
Okay, if they are, maybe lift the toes, drive the ball of the foot into the mat. That might give you some help. Hopefully will elevate those arches. Now you can also do a one-legged variation with one-legged forward, the kickstand position. Very good, let's try the other side. All right, now from here, you can support, and you can then let the body go. Get a good stretch on those hammies. Relax the neck. All right, place the hands on the ground. If you need the blocks, you can use them. Okay, place the hands on the ground. The other thing you can do is just bend the knee to get to the ground. That's what I would recommend. Foot back into plank. Now, don't let the shoulders rise up. You want to have the shoulder into the body. Okay, so don't hunch like this. Also, don't let the body sag. If anything, you want an awareness right here, the hollow body, slight curve. So instead of here, you want to be here. All right, from here we're going to do our Chaturanga Dandasana. Ever so slight forward movement. Keep the elbows close to the body and come down right here. Okay, one leg back and the other one into bow pose. Now this is difficult. You can always just lie on your side and do it. Right here. I like to have a slight bend in my elbows, and if I push with my legs, I can actually get a bit of action on the biceps, and of course on the quadriceps, pushing. Very good. From here, you can keep the knees on the ground, or you can push straight up, come back into down dog, get a bit of a stretch on those calf muscles, bend, and you can jump up or walk and stand up. Okay. Okay, this series is going to be a slightly harder version than the previous one. If you're happy with the previous one, stick with that. So we're going to do another hip hinge and forward fold, but this time it will be wide stance. So that's Prasarita Padottanasana. Then we'll go back into our 4-point stick, Chaturanga Dandasana, into Dhanurasana, the bow pose, and then into plank, down dog, and back up. All right, guys, this series, a little bit more of a challenge than the last one. Will be very similar. If you're happy with the last one and you want to just stick with that, that's fine. If you'd like a little bit more of a challenge, let's go with this one. So, hip hinge, forward fold, except wide stance. So, open the chest out. You can support if you need to. One arm if you want to challenge. Two arms, more of a challenge. Could be right here or here. And you can go to transverse plane with a twist. You can even elevate that hand off the ground. Very good. And going to the other side. Hand on the ground, get some stretching in the hamstrings. Elevated, works the core, lower back. Very good, and you can support if you need to, and just let it hang. If you can use the blocks if you need to. Come out a little bit wider and support, and get a little bit more of a stretch.
the neck. Very good. From here, you can walk in a little bit. I'm just going to move for purposes of the camera. So for here, we've moved in, hands down, and you can do a one-arm 4-point stick chaturanga dandasana. So some people like to have the support arm here. I like it here. So I'll show you. This is very light, just for balance. This arm is going to do the work. So I come down slightly forward, weight on the right arm. Very good. Come back up. Switch arms. Now the weight's on this one. This is just helping with balancing, right? Slide forward movement, and I come down. From here into our bow pose. Very good. And back to plank. If you want a variation of the plank, right here, hands can come out slightly, move the feet back, and right here, elbows down, elbows slightly bent, holding it. Now you can also put your knees down while doing this. Makes it a little easier. I don't like to be on my knees. From here, walk the hands back into down dog, and you can walk or jump up.
Okay, next section is standing balances on one leg. This is going to be fun. Now, if you need to be against the wall or holding a chair or any device, feel free to do that. What we'll start off with is dancer pose, Nataraj. Then we'll take a look at wind relieving pose, Pavana Muktasana. Then we'll go into our Ekapada Tadasana, one-legged mountain pose. Then we'll take a look at some other poses, Virabhadrasana 3. And then we'll take a look at just a couple of other balances that I like to do. Okay. All right, guys, let's take a look at dancer. So, we're balancing on the right leg. Elevate the left. Just find your balance. Right here. When you're ready, get the leg. Okay, don't pull it out to the side like this. You want to stay here in sagittal plane. Okay? And you can get a bit of a tuck here actually. And you can stretch out that hip flexor or quadricep. I like to do this first. And from there, you can arch the back slightly. Stay there if you like. If you want to bend over, you can. Oops. And I like to look straight down at a spot on the floor. Good, and then come back. Some people like to grip the floor with toes. You can do that. Depending on the shape of the foot, you'll have to find the position that works best for you. Some people actually prefer having a slight bend in that knee, but you can feel that out. All right, let's go to wind relieving pose, knee up high, balance. Very good. Into one leg mountain pose. Extend. Get some transverse plane action here. Twist the body. Yeah. Shoulders down. Very good. Let's take a look at Warrior 3. So I like to do stepping back into comfortable lunge. From here, slight arch in the back, open the chest, and straighten the legs. Okay, then I like to lift the arms, and when you're ready, lift that back leg,
I keep a slight bend in the supporting leg. And pull the shoulder blades down the back. So you don't want to be here. Pull the shoulder blades down the back. Let's just go back into it quickly. Right here. You can point, you can flex, and come back down to a comfortable lunge. Right here. I'm going to turn this way for the next one. So another variation of one leg mountain pose. You can come out on the diagonal. Right here. Extend the leg. Right here. Very good. Just catch your breath. And from here we can do a variation of that. Bend over. Right here. Keep the back straight, look it straight down. One leg to the side. I like to put my hands right here. And then elevate that leg. And balance. Very good. You can support if you need to. Come back up. Let's try everything on the left side. So, left leg is supporting. Bring up the knee. And get your stretch on the quadricep and hip flexor. Slight tuck. And when you're ready, arch the back slightly, extend the arm. And if you like, you can bend over. Take a look at the spot on the ground. And balance. Stay in sagittal plane. Don't lift that knee out. And come back. Very good. And we can do wind relieving pose from here. You can extend the leg out. Transverse plane, twist. Make sure shoulders are down. Shoulders down. Very good. All right. Going to a comfortable lunge. Make sure the chest is open. Slight arch in the back. Okay. Bend over. I'm just going to move back for purposes of the camera. So we're right here. Extend the arms and lift the leg. I like a little bend in my supporting leg. Okay, don't let the hips open. Stay in sagittal plane. Very good. And step up. Right, from here, just a variation of one-legged mountain. So, elevate the knee, get your balance, and extend if you like. I like to look at a spot on the ground. Very good. Catch your breath. And bending over, you can support if you like. And one leg out. And see if you can balance. Very good. You could call that a variation of Warrior 3 or a variation of Mountain. Well done. All right, guys. Next series,
we're going to do a hip hinge and forward fold, Uttanasana, to get to the ground. But the Uttanasana will explore some other planes of motion before we get down to the ground. Then on the ground, we're going to take a look at the camel pose, Ustrasana, then to a plank, and then pigeon, Rajakapotasana. From there, we will take a look at Paschimottanasana, and that is a forward fold, seated. There's a twisting variation, Parivritta, so we twist, and we are in the transverse plane and sagittal plane. Then we'll do the Upavishta Konasana, which is a forward fold, but with the legs split. From there, we'll take a look at cobbler's pose, Baddha Konasana, and finally, we'll do a seated twist, Ardha Matsyendrasana. All right, guys, let's start with Uttanasana, forward fold, hip hinge, and then forward fold. So, same like we did before, feet about hip width apart, slight arch in the back. I like a slight knee bend coming over. Okay, right here. If you want to work in transverse plane, you can get a twist. You can also just be here. Very good, you can support. Now if you want to work a little bit in sagittal and frontal plane, we can come down and we can twist this way. And we can hold. All right, from here, you can use the blocks if you need to. Coming down into camel pose. Now some people like to have the tops of the feet on the ground. I like to have the underside of the feet, the toes, engaged. If this is very difficult or uncomfortable, you can just be on your side, stretching out the quadriceps and hip flexor like this. For those that can do it, right here, I like to get a tuck to stretch out the quadricep. And you can use the blocks right here if you need to. If you want to go into a full back bend, right here. And into a plank. Foot across, we're going to be doing pigeon. That little scoop right there is where you can put the thigh. Some people have the foot right up here, but not everybody can do that. So I like it right there. And you can come down and get a little bit of movement here. See where it's tight. If you like to lift up the back leg, you can. A lot of people do it this way. I actually prefer it this way because then I get a twist now in transverse plane. Okay, don't collapse. Make sure the shoulder is packed. Very good. Back to plank. So we can switch out right here. Good. And just get a little twist, sit down, so we can come into seated position. All right, seated forward fold. If you'd like to use a strap for some help, that will work. So you can be right here, and you can pull yourself down a little closer. If you don't need that, you can hang on to the feet. Now, what I find sometimes handy is to have slight arch and move forward first. Lift out the hips, move forward, toes up, and then forward fold. If it's uncomfortable to keep the knees locked, you can have a very slight bend.
And if you want to go into the transverse plane, you can get a twist right here. Very good. Now exactly the same thing, but just split. I actually like to push from behind, toes up, shoulders down, chin tucked. Once again, if you want to move forward first and then down, you can do that. And if you'd like to go side to side, you can also use a block. You can use a strap if you like. Coming to the side. Some people like to do a twist right here. And coming down on the side. Very good. And cobbler's pose, or butterfly, as it's sometimes called. Nice to support from behind. And push yourself forward and then down. Toes up. You can also hold this way. Once again, you can go forward and then over. And then from there, we could go into a seated twist. I would recommend toes up, toes up. Just give those knees a little bit more support. If you can get that butt on the ground, that would be ideal. And then you can twist. Now, it might be easier just to have this straight, and that's absolutely fine. Think about twisting the bottle cap off the bottle. In other words, don't shrink. If anything, you want to actually grow. Tuck the chin, lift the crown of the head, shoulders down, and twist. Elevate those toes. Very good. Switching to the other side. Right here. You can be here, or you can be here. And once again, shoulders down, tuck the chin. Very good. And you can get your blocks. Well done. Okay guys, next series we're going to be on the ground in Sphinx pose, Salamba Bhujangasana. From there we're going to come up into an elbow plank, Phalakasana, and then into dolphin, otherwise known as Ardha Pincha Mayurasana. And then we're going to finish with child's pose, Uttita Balasana. Okay guys, let's get down to the ground. We'll do a hip hinge into the forward fold. So right here, very good. And support if you need to. Get to the ground, you can bend the knees and put one foot back. And we'll do a quick vinyas to get to the ground. Slide, forward movement, elbows in the sides, coming down. All right, first pose we're going to do is the Sphinx. So, hands out front, right here. Try not to hunch the shoulders. Shoulders down, into the body. Now, if this is comfortable, you can move your elbows out. This also might not be comfortable, in which case you can actually put the hands maybe a little bit forward. That might work. See where it's comfortable for you. Right here.
tops of the feet down if you like, or you can have the underside of the toes. I like to have it like this so I'm ready for the next move. Now, if you want to just relax the head and just let it hang, stretch out those neck muscles. From here, we're going to come up into forearm plank. Now, for our advanced members, you can come wider and try one arm. And from here into puppy pose with dolphin. I'm trying to keep my back, my spine, and my neck in line. Okay, just let me demonstrate the elbows. Some people find this uncomfortable. So I would try and go straight if you can. Now, once again, a couple of variations here. You can go one leg, you can go one arm, and then we're going to go to child's pose. So right back here, hands out front, stretch out the back. A little bit of pressure on the head is good, actually. But if there's pain, of course, and you want to maybe support, and from here, we come back into plank, down dog, jump up, or step up, and we're done. All right, next series, we are going to do a hip hinge forward fold to get onto the ground, and we are going to go into a plank, Phalakasana. Then we'll go into down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, and then up dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Now, if you can't do up dog, we'll replace it with Cobra, Bhujangasana. And then to finish out that series, we're going to alternate some locust variations, Salabhatana, and we'll alternate that with thread the needle. So Parsava Balasana. All right, guys, we're going to do forward fold as we did before. Keep the chest open. You can support if you like. Coming down, right here. Make contact with the ground. Into a plank. Right here. And down dog. Make sure that the shoulder blades, pull the shoulder blades down. So you want the shoulder blades down the back. In down dog, you can stretch out the calf muscles and breathe. From here into up dog, squeeze the buttocks. Squeeze the buttocks. That way you'll save your SI joints in your lower back. Now, if you find that you're moving too far forward and it's hurting your wrist, what I find is when I'm in down dog, I actually bend my knees to stop myself from moving forward. And you might want to negotiate that knee bend to get the arch in the back, but try and get that squeeze in the buttocks and some tension in the legs. Right here and back. As I extend the legs, squeeze the buttocks. Now you want to get some variations here. One leg. And if you want to get a one arm, I like to have a slight bend in the elbow, right here.
good, and back. Right here. And squeeze the buttocks, tension in the legs. Good. All right. Now, if you can't do up dog, okay, you can do a quick vinyas, flow down, and you can get a cobra. Okay, don't let the shoulders creep up. Pull the shoulders down and lift up. And from there, you can use the knees, come up into down dog, and to plank, chaturanga dandasana. Keep pull the shoulder blades down the back, and cobra. Let's take a look at some locust variations. So hands off ground, squeeze the back muscles, and lift up, tuck the chin. Some people like to look up. I like to look down. I like to keep my neck and my spine in alignment. Very good. Come down and relax. And you can put the head the other side. Very good. Variation. Squeeze and squeeze the hamstrings. Squeeze the back muscles. All right, another variation. Arms out to the side and lift up. If you want to lift your leg too, you can. I'm not so good at that, but you can do it. Very good. Back into child's pose and breathe. All right. Another variation we can do. Arms straight out. Lift up. Very good. And back into child's pose. You can thread the needle if you want. And if you want to do your chaturanga with the knees down, you can. Or another variation. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift up and sweep the floor to the side. So here we've got some frontal plane action going on. And other side. Back into child's pose and slight twist. And switch the arms, slight twist. Very good. And another variation we can do. This time it's going to twist. So we'll be doing some transverse plane. So right here, and twist. And other side. Good. Now there are some other variations. You can put your hands here. Some people are able to lift their legs up. I like to do just one leg. Good. And child's pose. Now we can get a couple of variations here. Thread the needle. And it can go out the other way. Twist. A little bit of transverse plane going on here. And switching out the arms. Here, and a slight twist. Just be careful of that elbow. If you lock that elbow, if you have any pain, you might have to bend this elbow a little bit. All right, back into plank. And down dog. Step up or jump up.
Very good. Okay guys, next series we are going to start with a plank, Phalakasana, then into an assisted handstand pose, Adho Mukha Vrikshasana. And then from there, we're going to go into a pullover plank. It's just a variation of the plank. And then into down dog and up. Okay guys, let's get to the ground. So forward fold, as we've done before. Coming down and get to the ground. We're in our plank. From here, okay, you want to walk up to where you can. Okay, I like to have the elbows not here, actually about 45 degrees or even here. And you want to get a feeling. When powerlifters bench press, they actually feel like they're breaking the bar. You want to work on that feeling. So if we're right here, I like to tuck the head. Okay. Now, even harder is to bend and to hold that pose. Very difficult. A little bit easier up here. I would still have a slight bend. You can elevate one leg, tilt forward. Very difficult. Come down if you need to rest. Try it again. Okay. So once again, you don't want to be like this. If you are like this, it might hurt the shoulder. So just be aware of that. If you do it like that, I wouldn't do it that way. Down. From here into a plank variation, which we did before. You might even want to hold on to the mat for this. You could walk back or walk your hands out. And once again, elbows facing down. Pack the shoulder. So you don't want shoulder rising up. Pack the shoulder in the body. Elbows down. Slight bend in the elbow. Right here. And you can rest. There is another plank variation I'll show you. You'll have to be Once again, careful of this one. Those who have shoulder problems, I would not recommend this. So once again, if we don't bench press here, we have the elbows here, and we push. So once again, if you want to have a slightly wider plank, develop strength, try and drop those elbows slightly if you can. So if I'm here, I walk out, trying to get my elbows at about 45. So not here. Try it again. Right here. Walking out the hands, and I'm here. Okay guys, let's work on a couple of asanas on the ground. We'll take a look at shoulder stand, assisted shoulder stand, Salamba Sarvangasana. We'll take a look at glute bridge, Setubandha Sarvangasana. And we'll take a look at a headstand, but assisted headstand, Salamba Shirshasana, or otherwise known as Kapalyasana. And we'll take a look at fish pose, Matsyasana, and then Jatara Parivartan Asana, a variation of the abdominal twist. Okay guys, we're going to do our chair squat pose to get to the ground. So right here. Very good. And if you need your blocks, right there. Let's take a look at the shoulder stand. So I like to get a little bit of a roll and come up. A couple of shapes you could do. Stretch the hammies, the adductors. And try and control the descent. Work those back muscles, those pulling muscles. Now, if you can't do the shoulder stand, just do the glute bridge right here. If you have any knee pain, you want to elevate the toes. And another pose we can do, lying on our back, we can do fish pose. Now, when you come up into the fish pose, you can put a lot of the weight of the body on the elbows and the arms. So here. All right, let's take a look at a variation of the abdominal twist. You can put blocks on the sides. This is either a variation of the boat pose. Let me demonstrate. So, using your arms, pushing in, balancing up. Similar to the boat pose. Okay, if you lean back, you get the back muscles, the pulling muscles. Very good to incorporate the pulling muscles because we don't get much of that in bodyweight training. Forward is a little bit more core and hip flexors, like boat pose. Now, if you come back and get a twist, it's a variation on the abdominal twist. All right, from there, let's take a look at an assisted headstand. I wouldn't put all the weight of your head, all the weight of your body on your head. So we're going to do it with support. So most of the weight should actually be on your forearms, shoulders. So right here,
Nice and strong. Coming up. And guard your tippy toes. And right here. Now, if that's uncomfortable, we don't want to do that. The other thing you can do to work the neck muscles, just gentle pressure, resist that pressure with your head. And side. And other side. And even back. Once again, so go to the front. So just resist that pressure, nice and gentle at first, and just see what you can handle. Side. And take your blocks and back up to the top. Okay guys, we've reached the part in the class where we're going to have some open time for a couple of minutes. So beginners and intermediates, if you have a pose that you're working on, or maybe a couple of poses that you're working on, you can work on those. And for those that brought your trusty equalizer, we're going to go through a few movements here, and we're going to go through some movements that are variations of what we've done. So Chaturanga Dandasana, we're going to do the reverse Chaturanga Dandasana on the equalizer. The wheel, Chakrasana, we can get a variation on here. Chair squat pose, we can do a nice variation with this. And a lot of the one-legged standing balances like Warrior 3, one-legged mountain, we can actually get a releve version, a version where you're doing a calf raise, as they would say in the gym. We can get a variation with that because we've got something to balance. So let's get into that. All right, guys, follow along. Let's have some fun. And if you need any modifications to make it easier or harder, just holler and let me know. All right, grab your equalizer and down onto the mat. We'll do the reverse Chaturanga Dandasana. Easier if the feet are closer to the buttocks. Coming up and hold. Very good. If you need a breather, you can be right here. Now, for those of you that need a little bit more of a challenge, the legs will be straight. So right here. Very good. And we can do a chair squat pose variation, otherwise known in the gym as a sissy squat. So right here, keep the heels up now. So no hip action, it's mostly quadriceps and the muscle around the knees. If you've got bad knees, this one's not for you. So right here, and breathe. Very good. All right, Warrior 3. This time with a releve, calf raise. And coming up. And reverse Warrior 3. So now, leaning back and calf raise. All right, let's try it on the other side. So right here, you can be right here, or if you want it in front, you can. And calf raise. And reverse. warrior 3. And if you can come up onto releve, that's good. Very good. All right. One-legged chair squat pose. Now, the tricky thing about this, let me demonstrate one variation. Elevate the leg, coming down. You really want to engage the hips, push the hips back. Should actually be kind of close to the ground. Now, what happens is people's feet and knees are squiff. So you really want that knee and foot in line. And I really would be careful about, don't let the knee come too far forward over the foot. In fact, you want to keep the knee behind the toes. Demonstration. I'm trying my best. Right here. Let's try the other side. So coming down and breathe. All right. Slightly harder version. Pistol squat, chair pose. All right, right here. Try the other side. So try and keep that heel on the ground when you do this. I'll show it to you from the front. Very good. All right, even harder, reverse Chaturanga Dandasana, one leg. And hold. Variation on the plank. Very good. We can do another releve. Okay, we can bend over, leg out to the side, and calf raise. Very good. And move to the other side. And lift up the heel. Very good. All right, let's get a plank twist. So pulling up, stack the feet. Very good. And you can do the over grip and under grip. So right here, let me just show you the both pose variation. So right here. And you can get another variation right here. So right here, for variation, we'll do over grip and hold. Switching our legs. right here. Coming up. Good. Get your breath. Very good. And you can use the equalizer to get up.
All right, well done, guys. All right, let's go into a breathing exercise. So it's inhale for 4. Okay. Then we're going to hold for 4. And then we're going to exhale for 8. Long exhale. On that last one, you might even feel like your abdomen is moving in, so you get all that air out. Go ahead and let it all out. Actually squeeze in like that. That's for 8. Now so it's inhale, hold, and exhale. Or in Sanskrit, Puraka, Kumbhaka, and Rechaka. Let's give it a try. Okay, guys, it's time for Shavasana, corpse pose, otherwise known as Vritasana. Now, if lying on your back is not comfortable for any reason, you can lie on your side in a modified child's pose, Balasana, almost like a fetal position. That'll work. And we're going to be here for a couple of minutes. This is a time to just completely relax. Now, if any thoughts come into your mind, don't chase them away, because that will cause agitation. Just recognize the thoughts. And don't add to it. Don't create a story to the thought. Don't follow the thought. The thought should not control you. Just observe the thought and keep observing it, and it should pass. Now, Another thought or idea or story or projection might come into your head. That's only normal. Once again, don't chase it away, but don't follow it. Don't build it. Just observe it, and eventually it will also pass. Okay, guys, we're going to do our chair squat pose. You might need the blocks, so we're going to be right here and coming down. And if you need the blocks, you can use them. And you can be right here, nice and relaxed. Like I said, if you would prefer to be on your side, that's okay. If you have a yoga blanket, you're welcome to put that on a block right here and just support your head. Whatever works. And we'll be right here. Once again, try and breathe from the bottom up. Feel those ribs expand. Breathe in through the nose, exhale through the nose, or even exhale through the mouth. Just check in with your body and see if you're carrying any tension, whether it's the fingers, the toes, shoulders. Try to relax everything, just let it go. Close the eyes. And slowly bring your awareness back to the body and slowly lean over to the side and use your hand to push back up
into a very comfortable cross-legged position. And let's sit here for just a moment. Shoulders down. Be aware of that breathing. Make sure the jaw is relaxed. And if you need the blocks, where to get up. Thank you for doing class today. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. Namaste.